I'm happy. We've been talking for a little while now. People were telling me to come meet you because I'm in the city now.
Yes.
I'm happy. Like I'll just say right now, for my channel we got a tour of the place now, and this guy is amazing.
Thank
Look
you.
at
Welcome to Block 929. Today I would like to talk about the businesses you can start in Africa. Whether you are in diaspora, you are an African American, Afro British, or from the Caribbean, or you are a diaspora, an African who moved to work overseas in the West, and you would like to come back home to Africa to start a business. These businesses that I'm going to discuss about, doesn't matter which country you're going to go to Africa, you're bound to succeed. But always bear in mind that there's always some challenges that you're going to face, like culture shock, the way business is done, and many more others that are going to frustrate you when you come to Africa. But should we be able to overcome these challenges, the opportunities in Africa are just plenty. There are vast opportunities in Africa. There are so many people that have been following, watch a lot of people, more especially African Americans, who come to Africa, they want to start a business, then eventually they get frustrated and they leave. I know, I understand, even me being an African, indigenous African, somebody who was born in Africa, has grown up in Africa, also find there a lot of frustrations when I want to do my business. But with perseverance, I find that I am able to run my business and make a living and earn some money. There are plenty of opportunities in Africa, and I'm always saying this. If you watch most of my videos, when I talk about business, I talk about the opportunities that are there in Africa. What are the opportunities that are available in Africa? Because many people who want to start a business in Africa, they lack capital. They fail to tackle some of the vital businesses that you can find out there. For instance, in the mining industry, there are not many Africans who are doing this business because they don't have the capital to start the mining industry. Because in the mining industry, you need equipment. And most of this equipment is very, very expensive to buy. So you will find that in many cases, people are not able to find the capital to be able to acquire this machinery. For instance, when you're working in the mining industry, you can be supplying materials for people in the construction industry, like quarry stone, quarry dust, and many more other stuff that you can supply, like sand also. Now, for you to be able to supply quarry or quarry dust, you need to have some machinery that will be used to break the stones. Now, we got a lot of people who are now overseas, like in America, they got this capital. If you come to Africa, you might be the first black people to own this type of business. In many cases, these businesses are owned by people who come from Lebanon, from Egypt, and all those other countries, even from Italy, from Brazil. They come to Africa, they start this business. But we don't see a lot of African people, like here in Malawi. I don't know if there's any Malawian who's supplying quarry stone for the construction industry. And there are other industries that you can go into, such as agriculture. When you come to a country like Malawi, being the poorest country or one of the poorest countries in the world, people are farming but don't have the equipment to use in the farming. So most of the people are using a hoe. If you don't know what a hoe is, it's one that has a stick and a piece of metal at the end, and people use their hands to work in the field. Imagine somebody having a farm that is so big, and then they are actually working this farm using a hoe. This is because people cannot afford to buy machinery like tractors to be used in the farm, or even harvesters to harvest their produce. Sometimes even to spray chemicals, they have to carry a bottle at the back at the back and physically spray the farm. Now, you being in the West, you have the capital, you can buy tractors and bring them to Africa, You don't even have to have a farm. You could be hiring your tractors to the farmers. So you go farm after farm to be able to supply this kind of service. This year in Malawi, we had very big problems with water. There was no rainfall, enough rainfall, so most of the plants were drying in the farms. And we saw people hiring bowsers. So people came with bowsers to spray water in the farms for the people. So if you can have bowsers, you can also be supplying people with water in the farms. So there are plenty of opportunities here in Africa. You can have machinery that can be used for harvesting, machinery that can be used to process the farming produce, like soya threshing machines, maize threshers. So there are so many things that you can do in a farming community. When it comes in the medical industry, most of the hospitals here in Malawi don't have machineries, the machines that are used to do diagnosis. So you can have these machines that can be used, like for diagnosing heart problems, sugar problems, kidney problems, and many more other machinery. You can have these machineries and allow the doctors to be able to come and use them, and they pay you a fee. So there's plenty of opportunities in Africa. And you can see the list just keeps on going on and on and on and on. Transportation industry. You can buy trucks to be transporting goods for people. Yes, I know this industry is a bit challenging because in some places you need to secure contracts. So being somebody who's coming out of the country, it might be difficult for you to be able to secure contracts. But there are opportunities in that area. When we go to the lake, like in Malawi, at Lake Malawi, there is not enough transportation on the waters of Malawi, even fishing vessels. So there is a lot of opportunities. I can keep on and on and on and on and on. So now you see, if you want to come to Africa, you really need to start thinking outside the box. I had so many questions that people from America, more especially African Americans, asking me, Ted, I want to start a salon. I want to come to Malawi and start a salon. I always tell them, don't come to Malawi and start a salon because there's already a lot of salons here. Don't come here and start a bakery. Come here and solve real problems, problems that are actually challenges for the nation. Something like struggles in the agriculture industry, struggles in the construction industry, struggles in the medical industry, those kind of businesses. So if you come here to Africa and you supply that type of businesses, you're sure to be able to secure a business for yourself. So if you've got a lot of questions that you have always wanted to ask, feel free to ask me here and I'll be able to help you. I will be interacting with the people in the government who are in the relevant departments to find out how can you be able to come to Malawi and start yourself a business. What processes do you have to follow for you to start a business? But I know that first of all, you need to be able to have your idea, your business plan. What are you going to do in Malawi? How much capital do you have? And then you can be able to start looking at finding out what are the challenges and the processes that you can follow for you to be able to start a business in Malawi. So if you have got any questions, feel free to ask me and I'll be there. Leave a comment and tell me what you think about this type of video. Do you want me to be doing more of these videos? And I can always be available for you to share the knowledge that I have that I can be able to share with you about doing business in Africa. Thank you.